What's up? We're live. We're live with Jonah. We got Jonah Weingarten. You guys know him from the Rockstar Dividend Investor video. We got Ryne Williams. So for all of those of you in the chat and all of those of you watching on replay, thank you for joining us on this Super Bowl Sunday. It's a holiday here in I don't know, North. Would you guys say North America? And by the way, what's up? So thanks for swinging on by the channel.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, this will be fun. I've been looking forward to this.
Good. Me too. So cheers, everybody. I got some tea. They got coffee. Well, they all got tea. No, Ryan's got coffee, right?
Yeah, me and Jonah are rocking some coffee over here.
Nice. So those of you,
Jonah's
repping
repping his set with that Starbucks mug. I love it.
Yeah, it's like one of the Starbucks holiday mugs.
There you go.
Beautiful. All right, so we're gonna talk Super Bowl stocks. The idea for this, came from a Motley Fool podcast, which I shared in the newsletter. And then I Googled and found a Yahoo News article. And that's shared in the description below if you want to click on it and read it at the conclusion of this live stream, please do. But what do you guys can start. I'm going to throw this up on the screen. What are you drinking for the game? Throw it in the chat. This is what they found currently that people said they're going to buy. Look at that. 50% of respondents are going to buy soda and then 37% beer. I know I'll be having some beers tonight. We started early because I have a volleyball tournament. I don't know who in their right mind scheduled a bunch of 16-year-old girls to have a volleyball tournament right smack dab during the Super Bowl. Poor planning if you ask me, but, it is what it is. So what are you guys drinking for the game and where are you watching it? Are you watching it?
Well, I'm actually bartending for the game, and so hopefully it'll be pretty busy tonight. I know that I'll be selling a lot of, I just call it the PP beer, but like Coors Light and all that kind of stuff. I can't believe the amount of that stuff that people consume. But I sell a lot of the hard seltzers too, like the White Claws, Stilly, and High Noon, if you guys have heard of those too.
Yeah, well, there you go. We got 10% on the hard seltzers. Mr. Williams, what about you? What are you drinking?
I'm gonna be good today. I've really been trying not to have alcohol this last, or pretty much all in 2024. I've tried to be good. I had a little staycation on the Strip last week, a couple weeks ago now, and so I stayed at the Flamingo actually. And which was it was a lot of fun. And I told you I sent this to you and Harris, Russ. They just opened a new Starbucks inside the Flamingo, and that thing is looking really good. So I got Starbucks both mornings. But yeah. So anyway, long story short, I'm not drinking anything today. I'm trying to be good. I had my fun a couple weeks ago, but trying to keep it dialed in. So I'll stick to coffee and water.
Well, then what are you eating? As we got this next slide, the top food picks for the Super Bowl. We got chips. Chips is the top. Chips and dip, right? And then what goes better than that? We got pizza. So we're not going to get too far out of ourselves, but we're going to give you guys watching, those of you people watching, 3 of our picks for the Super Bowl dividend stocks. You know what? And it could be anything. It could be either in Vegas or just, again, like we're sharing this stuff you might be buying to bring to your house. That's kind of what my pick's going to be. But what did I ask you, Ryan? Did I ask you a question? I think I did. I've done confused myself.
I think we were just kind of moving on to food. I might have some chips today. Definitely no pizza, no chicken wings, no nachos, none of that. I might have some chips. I think my lady was going to stop by Trader Joe's and maybe pick up some, like a cheese board or something like that. That'd be good.
Yeah. But, well, you got a wedding coming up, man. You got to look svelte, right?
I know, man. That's why I'm trying to be good with the ALK and keep the diet and training all diet in so I can shed a few more pounds before April. So it's working. We're getting there. But yeah, got to be disciplined.
So I'm going to start with a few of these people in the comments before we get into ours. And yeah, we're going to, we could talk about that in a minute with Nextstar if anybody's interested in that. So I sent it out in the newsletter, a few thoughts about what's going on there. But yeah, let's see. Okay, Joseph, you like my shirt, man. Yeah, I made these. This is a one of one. My sister-in-law made this one, and I put them up on whatever that site. I don't even remember. Nobody bought it. I thought it was going to be a whole trend I was going to start, and it's a trend of pretty much one. So Shamir, there he is up in Canada drinking the cherry Coke. Warren Buffett used to drink Pepsi and he would put in like cherry flavoring, and then somebody convinced him to try cherry Coke when that came out in the 80s, and the rest is history. I ended up owning more than 10% of the company. So we got Jordan's hanging with his 2-year-old son, coffee and Spindrifts, which Spindrift is a PepsiCo product. So thank you for that. Did you guys know that?
Great.
I've never had it. I just know we work at a facility where they process the chips. It's called Aaron Thomas. And what they do is they'll get in like a whole truck full of just Doritos or just Lay's. And then they have all these people sorting to make the multi-packs. So when you go to the store and you see like the Halloween pack, and there's whatever, 2 Cool Ranch Doritos, 2 regular Doritos, 2 Smart Food popcorn, and like all that, they physically are taking it and putting in those boxes. But I always see Spindrift in there, so I know they have that. All right, a couple more. There you go. He's got the pee-pee beer, right, Jonah? Miller. Diet Dr. Pepper, shout out KDP, and some coconut pineapple seltzer. Nice. Good. Shamir watched some of Ryan's video before. How to make $3,000 a month in dividends at only $25 a month.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys the spoiler, the TLDR. It's going to take about 40 years, so buckle up.
Hey, yeah, and that's like we say, right? We're not trying to get rich quick. We're doing something that's slow and predictable.
Especially with $25 per week, it'll build up, but it's gonna take quite some time.
It's doable, man. It's doable.
Yeah.
There you go. Paulo says bartending through the game should be fun. What's the craziest thing you've seen bartending during a Super Bowl or anything? Is there anything like wild, wacky that's gone down?
So my clientele at the bar that I work at is mostly like hockey parents, because I'm in Minnesota. And, the average age is probably like in the 40s, 50s, 60s. So it thankfully doesn't get too wild. We've had a couple weird instances of human behavior, of course. And then every now and then I have to, throw someone out or something like that. But it's pretty tame. Yeah, I'm out here.
That's good. You don't want it too crazy. I mean, you don't want to have to be packing a pistol or something while you're bartending, That's
right.
Dude, Look at this. Our friend FC Baron Munch. I don't know how to say that. It's Jonah, you might know better. You're over in Europe a lot. How do you say that?
Bayern München.
Yeah. You're over more in Denmark or something a lot, right?
Yeah, 2 of my bands are in Denmark and one's in Germany. So
nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's right up your alley. Yeah, he says he saw the preview of the ad from Pfizer. I might do it. We'll see. So in the past 2 years, what I've done is I'll watch all the commercials, and then as soon as the Super Bowl's over, I run to the computer, I just download the commercials, and I rank them by dividend-paying stocks. And so it might be a little harder tonight. I'm going to try to do it, but we'll see. So that one probably would be toward the top. Shout out Ian Lopuk buying Pfizer too. All right, so let's see if we're going to get to our picks here. I think. There we go. I want to say hi to my friend Craig. You got to be on soon, Craig. We'll have you on a live stream. And thank you, Jim, supporting my Diageo shares, which I started a position and it's been running up. Looking to buy more. And there he is. He's watching us while running. God bless technology, right? That's awesome. So, all right, I think we'll leave off there and get into this whole thing. Kick it off. So my top pick, obviously PepsiCo, and there we go. So a couple slides here from Simply Safe. They just raised the dividend, for those of you that may not know, 7.1% raise. So I think that increased our projected annual dividend income by $36. I think we have 100 shares. So that did that on that. A couple more stats. Dude, yeah, that's their 52nd consecutive year of dividend growth. So pretty solid for PepsiCo for just a boring business doing something we all understand and know, right? 11% 20-year CAGR. So that's fantastic, as we say around here. And a couple of their payment details. They are going ex-dividend February 29th. So if anybody wants to get that next dividend, you got time to still jump into that. So that was mine. PepsiCo, I don't know. Do you guys use any PepsiCo products? Ryan, Jonah, do you have any thoughts on PepsiCo like I do? I've kind of flogged that dead horse quite a bit around here. So
I had some Gatorade the other day, but no, typically like if we buy soda, it's usually something from Coca-Cola. Like we drink a lot of Coke Zero, Sprite Zero. My fiance's been buying some Fanta as well, just all the zero, like their orange soda, but all zero calorie. But we don't often get any of the Pepsi products, even the snack stuff. Shamir mentioned chips from Walmart, like the Great Value brand Walmart chips, earlier in the live chat, and we tend to buy and eat a lot of that. But yeah, no Doritos, no Lay's, no nothing like that. No, ain't no nothing.
Jonah, what about you?
My only vice is ice cream and what are they called? What are the candy called again that we were talking about the other day?
I don't know.
Pop Rocks.
No. Why am I going blank on this right now? It's literally
Coca-Cola and Pop Rocks right in that stomach. Has a fun night. And so
Russ, I commented on your video about them.
Sour Patch Kids, man.
Charleston Chew.
So ice cream and Sour Patch Kids, and neither of those are Pepsi related. I don't drink pop, and I avoid like chips and snacks and things like that generally. So
it's for the best, man. It's for the best. We really do too. My kids though, they like Doritos. We've tried buying like the Aldi brand Doritos, and it's just not even close. It's not even close. I was gonna say Charleston Chew. You reminded me, Ryne. You know Werther's Originals. So I was on a job and I saw Werther's Original wrapper blow by, and immediately I thought I'm like there's some old people nearby, because all the old people always have Werther's. So anyway, that's my PepsiCo. If you guys didn't know, the bulk of their revenue comes from food, from the snack foods, from foods, and not from beverages. So that's interesting thought. So why don't you go next, Ryne? What is your pick for Super Bowl stock?
So let me preface it by saying I think Pepsi is a really tough one to beat. So Russ, good job claiming that one. But as far as other Super Bowl companies or companies pertaining to the Super Bowl, one that really stands out to me is Domino's Pizza. And as a dividend growth stock, that also is one that has had some pretty standout performance. So I thought that'd be kind of an interesting one to look at today.
Right,
They're just a dividend growth behemoth.
We'll take a look at it, but check this out, everybody. I had just got this yesterday, weirdly enough, from Costco. While supplies last, you can get, I love how, do you guys ever do this? You can get $100 in Domino's pizza gift cards for $69. You're getting $30 free. So for all of those that may like Domino's pizza, there you go. We're a little bit of a, have you guys ever done anything like this from Costco with the e-gift cards?
Mm-mm.
No, I remember always seeing those, but there's just never been anything like anywhere that I frequent enough for that to make sense. Like I couldn't tell you the last time I actually went to Domino's Pizza. I love Domino's Pizza. Out of all the pizzas that you can order like that, the chain pizzas, Domino's has always been my favorite, but I haven't had it in years.
I just got it delivered on Thursday night because I had a lady friend over to play some board games, and so I ordered us some Domino's, and I remember it was like, I want to say 15 years ago that Domino's decided to up their game as far as the quality, because I think, I don't know, maybe it was like Papa John's became a competitor or something at that point. So they knew they needed to, up their game. And then all of a sudden, I don't want to say that Domino's is good, but it's definitely not bad anymore and probably, the best of the big chain pizza options.
I agree, dude. I totally agree with Domino's. So you can see the screen on there, 10% dividend growth. But it's funny you say that because I don't remember the last time I had Domino's. And last April, we were at a volleyball tournament in Lafayette, Indiana. And for dinner on that first night, somebody ordered, I don't know who came up with it, but all of a sudden there was 7 Domino's pizza boxes for all the parents and all the girls. And dude, I think I'd had a few drinks too, but either way, it tasted amazing. I don't know what they did. I don't know if it was something different there, but I was really surprised at how good the Domino's pizza in Lafayette, Indiana at least tasted. But yeah, so there you go. Currently $425 a share. Just a couple numbers here, nothing too crazy because I want to talk to you all in the chat. But yeah, there's their growth 9 years, dividend growth streak, almost 20%. Dividend growth, but check that out. I guess they didn't pay a dividend from about 07 till 2012. Looks like when they started paying it again. So that's interesting. That would have been a great time to get in, oddly enough.
With that said, though, go ahead, Jonah.
I was gonna say they're good too at sort of these like impulse buy things. So I was ordering online, right? And so I got a pizza and I got some boneless wings, and I'm like, yeah, that's it, that's plenty, right? But I'm going to check out, and they're like, oh, are you sure you don't want to add this pepperoni pull apart cheesy bread stuff or whatever for only $8? And I looked at it, I was like, I do want to add that for only $8. That looks delicious. And it works, you know, and because, you know, you're already there and you're hungry and you're making these choices to order or whatever, and then they get you with stuff like that.
So we were talking about being old around here,
Mm.
and I'm gonna guess you don't, Ryan. But do either of you remember, or in the chat, do you know the Noid? Do you remember the Noid?
Mm-mm.
I can't be the only one. Avoid the Noid. It was Domino's Pizza. I'll have to pull up a video later, but it was this little guy that was I don't know. He was like a little menace that ran around trying to like get the Domino's Pizza. So yeah, Doc remembers him. But yeah, and we also want to know, Jonah, what board games did you guys play? You got to tell us.
So we played a game called Play 9, which was it was kind of more of a card game or whatever. And then I tried to bust out my Boggle game because I'm really into word games, and we didn't get around to that, but you know, but
Nice.
yeah, me and my lady friend we both have a competitive streak, so it's been pretty fun trying to beat each other in things, you know.
Yeah, you're out in that world, man, where you're dating, and
Yeah.
I was texting Jonah that the last time I went on a first date was the end of November in the year 2000. So it's coming up on 24 years since yours truly has had a first date. And how about you, Ryan? When was your last first date?
Yeah, that would have been January 2019.
Okay, so you're a little bit closer, not but. You'll find that one, Jonah. Just keep looking. Don't give up. Don't give up. We have one more chart here on good old DPZ. They're going to be going, what's 3 months from December? March 14th?
March.
Yeah, so probably about March 14th, 15th, they'll be going ex-dividend if anybody wanted to get in. So also looks like they're about ready for a dividend increase. They should be announcing that soon. I don't know when they have their earnings, but that should be them. So that was Mr. Williams's pick. Domino's Pizza, I think that's a good one. And Jonah, what was your Super Bowl pick? Super Bowl stock pick.
All right. Well, so this is in line with my my life philosophies as far as investing goes too, which I discussed on your channel a couple weeks ago, which is investing in the bad choices and bad habits of others without making them myself. So I went with gambling and Vici, and because people bet on the Super Bowl and probably in excess, I would guess. So there you have it.
And the Super Bowl's in Vegas this year.
Right. All right. So it's like a double dip then.
Yeah, they're good. That's a great pick. They're going to be booked.
People are betting on like what color shirt Taylor Swift is going to wear and stuff like that.
How do the roads look out there, Ryan? Has the city become congested with people, or does it just seem same old, same old?
Yeah, it's same old, same old. I mean, down on the strip during certain times, it's going to be pretty busy no matter what's going on in town. But there's always something like this happening. Maybe not Super Bowl size, but there's always something crazy going on in Vegas. There's always a reason for people to come travel here. So the city's pretty used to it.
Yeah, so there's Vici. You got it's a REIT, so remember you're going to pay your ordinary income tax rate on those dividends if you receive them in a taxable account. Almost a 6% yield for Vici. I've been dribbling and drabbling a little bit more into Vici here and there when I get the money. Oh, I was just talking with somebody about ADC, Agree Realty, being like a little brother of Realty.
That was me
income.
you were talking to about that.
Yeah, it could potentially have more upside. So I think what I might start doing is I'm closing in on 200 shares of Realty Income. I might just every month take those dividends and start just buying a share of Agree Realty. So, but back to Vici. There you go. It's just they're a newer company. They formed out of the Caesars bankruptcy, and that's why they don't have that long of a history. So that was at the end of the last decade. And there you go, 6.4% latest. We don't have a 5-year CAGR or 10-year CAGR for them. At least I'd probably pull up Seeking Alpha if we really wanted to. But 4-year dividend growth streak, and they're going to be going next dividend in the end of March. And yeah, that's Vici right there. So nice pick. We do like that one. And
Yeah.
while we were talking about pizza, I had to bring this back because I was so proud of myself that I made this to show the Walmart before and after split. I don't know if you guys saw this, but we were talking about pizza. So I feel it fits in a little bit. So anybody watching, remember, if you have a company that's going to split their stock, nothing changes. The pizza is still the same size. It's just you get smaller slices of it. So it changes nothing with the valuation. Holy cow, we've done that. 20 minutes, not bad, not bad.
I wonder
You guys
when
wanna-
Broadcom is going to split, because they just keep growing and growing and growing.
Maybe it'll be another Berkshire. Never want to. All right, we're gonna get some of your comments here. Where are you guys going for the Super Bowl? Let us know in the comments where you're doing, where you're going. Are you gonna be at a volleyball tournament like this guy with the two thumbs here? So Coyote Sunglasses says the Walmart trash cans and Walmart. I just see that WM, right? We just looked at WM. Waste management trash cans and dumpsters on site for Super Bowl are waste management. I did not know that. Very cool. That's nice to know. Did you know that, Ryan?
I did not. That's
Look
cool
at
to know.
this. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. We got Trey Corte, who's a fellow Minnesotan, and from his avatar, it looks like he's a drummer. And he's got tattoos. Do you see that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Trey, you might have to contact Jonah. Maybe you guys have something in common there. What kind of a drummer are you, Trey? Let us know. I'll get to you probably in 30 minutes at the rate I move through these comments. So, all right, what else we got going on here?
I'm in Cottage Grove, by the way, Trey. If you know where that is, it's southeast of St. Paul.
I have no idea where that is, but no, I know that's that would be cool if he was nearby. Yeah, Steve wants me to do the Super Bowl commercial stock video, so it's a real easy one. All I do, you don't see my face. I don't do anything. I literally just do a top 10, and I just put the number and I think I do the stock name and the ticker symbol, and that's it. It literally takes me maybe an hour to make the video, so it's real quick. Oh, and I don't get any money from it because all of the music, right? It's all copyrighted, so it's just a fun little project for me that has no financial benefit other than my own interest. I think you're talking about PepsiCo, Shamir, right? They are not still above 100%. And, I'm going to share that real quick with you guys because I know we've talked about this before with, I guess we could do news, right? You guys on board for some news real quick? Ryan, Jonah?
Let's get it.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Well, just real quick because I know some of you are going to want to know. Let me hide Shamir's comment here. Make that, there you go. A little bit more. Yeah, Simon Property Group, we own them. Raised their dividend 2.6%. They got the malls, the specialty malls. Tractor Supply, look at that, 6.8% raise for Tractor Supply. I'm going to go really quick here, everybody. We got guests. I don't want to keep them waiting for this. DuPont, 5.6% dividend raise. You want to look at this a little more close, you're going to pause the video later on. Gilead, 2.7% dividend raise. 3M, keep in mind, what do you guys think about 3M? Look at that, just another penny increase. They are trying to prepare, I think, for all this lawsuits, the PFAS and the earplug lawsuits. So, by the way, look at it. Dividend yield almost 7% for 3M.
3M is a dumpster fire. Like it's a Minnesota company. A lot of people that come to my bar and that I know work for 3M, and they're like, do not touch it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Minnesota and Metals Mining Company or something was the. That's interesting, man. That's a really interesting insight. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Prudential, we own 4% dividend increase. They reaffirmed their very safe score in APD, which they've popped up on the radar. I think I texted you about that, Ryan, that they popped up. Hershey's, there you go, that 15% raise. CME, 4.5% raise. And we're a couple more. I don't know ICE. I don't know. Do you guys ever hear of ICE? Financial Exchange and Data. I've never looked into them, never even heard of them, but there you go, 7% raise. That's their 10th. BCE. That's I think of like the Canadian AT&T. Raised at 3.1%.
That's Bell, right?
I think it is Bell. I think so. Yeah, and this is why, like, look what they say. The dividend coverage is stretched following years of heavy investments in fiber optic internet and 5G wireless infrastructure. And that's the problem with them. You're always spending so much money, and there's no guarantee you're going to get a return on that. Where with like a Duke Energy or the regulated utilities, you know that you're going to get a pretty nice or at least predictable return. But Interpublic, don't know them. Advertising raised 6.5%. Look at 4.29% yield. So kind of interesting. We're in a bit of an ad recession too. So that's for Nexstar. That's how that's affected them a little bit. And MPLX, what do they do here? Oh, refresh their outlook
MLP.
on them. Yeah, I forget what MLP does. Marathon Petroleum. I think they're the refiner for Marathon Petroleum. I think they might have been spun out of it, maybe. But anyway, and there we go. End it with PepsiCo with their 7% dividend raise. And then what were we gonna do, Shamir? That was for you. Just really quick with the free cash flow payout ratio. So remember, I talked about it being over 100%. And there we go. We've dropped down to 86% last 12 months, and they're projecting it to go down a little more. And that's because they spent a lot on infrastructure upgrades, all kinds of things of their fleet. They spent a lot of money to hopefully grow the business. So
looks like they had a nice boost in free cash flow per share too.
Yeah. Well, they got more
Help
money
bring that
coming
ratio
in.
down. Yeah.
Right. And I know they buy their commodities ahead into the future. So they have a lot of interesting things to deal with. But yeah, there we go. Hey, Chet, what's up, Chet? Thank you for emailing me. Him and I were talking a little bit about Nexstar via the email. And oh my God, we gotta get caught up. How do you do it, Ryne? You get caught up on these pretty quick, all these comments, don't you?
Some of them, I just go off on these tangents though, man. You get me talking about certain things, and it's like it's a trap.
Yeah, it is. All right. There you go. Kevin remembers the Noid. Dude, Doc, I think, is about my age. He remembers the Noid. I had that little action figure too. It was a little rubber thing. I don't remember where I got it. I don't remember Sir Dude Bro, man. I know you show up on Ryan's channel a lot, right?
I feel like these sort of pop culture windows of time are around, honestly, like 5 years, little 5-year increments. And it's like you have to have been a certain age in these certain windows of time to get, because I'm always talking about like random things and no one knows what I'm talking about, you know.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I'm gonna we've got Jim telling us that the Noid and the Trix Rabbit are the same. I'm just gonna share the screen what I'm sharing here. I can't find a side by side comparison, so let's see if you're right, Jim. Right, it's close. I think he's got a point. So there you go. There's the Noid. Oh, that's not that.
Oh, that looks familiar. Okay.
Yeah, the Noid and then the Trix Rabbit. Yeah, dude, that's pretty good. Maybe the Noid ended up becoming the Trix Rabbit. Yeah, there was a Noid. It was a video game for the Noid, and yeah, there he is, the Noid. So
that was like Russ, do you remember the 7-Up Dot game for Sega Genesis?
I do remember that. Yep.
Yeah.
I never played it though. I remember seeing it and thinking it looked stupid. Did you play it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't play it either. So there you go, Jim. I can't prove you wrong, so that's very damn close. And I know some of you guys were talking about the $8 Big Mac. Did I get to it yet? No, $18. Yeah, big meals. Somebody mentioned them being $18, and I've heard that. I don't really go to McDonald's, so I haven't seen that. John thinks DPZ is going to split. And hey, that would be even perfect if they do split, right? I can just repurpose that graphic. So there you go.
Russ, do you remember the reason that Warren and Charlie said that they've never split Berkshire? Is it just to like encourage more long-term ownership? Was that kind of the reason behind it?
Yeah, they want people holding for a long time. They don't want people selling in and out. They just want to attract people that are just going to hold forever. Then they ended up doing the B shares. Yeah, so you could do the exchange where, okay, I can't believe
30 to 1.
Yeah, 30 to 1. So if you had, but it'll only go one way. You couldn't take 30 B shares and get an A, and it was only a one-way direction. But
do you remember hearing in one of the shareholder meetings the guy who was really upset about that? Do you remember that?
I I think I do. I've been listening to them again one a year, and I've been taking notes. Maybe I haven't. No, it had to be before. I'm sure I must have heard it.
And that you'll definitely have heard it. And the guy who asked it and who was kind of up in arms about the whole thing in like the previous year or the year after that, he comes back and asks another question. He's upset about something else this year. So there's this guy who keeps showing up to ask these questions, and he's just 2 or 3 times she's just like really unhappy about something. And you could tell it's one of those things where like when he gets up at this point, like Warren and Charlie probably know who he is. And so when they see him, you know, and hear his voice, they're like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah, I do remember there was one guy that did the exchange or he bought or something, and he was upset because the price was wrong. And Charlie,
that's exactly it.
Yeah, is that the one when Charlie was like, "Well, you did the wrong thing."
Yeah,
It's like no sympathy whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's funny because every year, and I've been picking up on it. There's this one guy. Hello, my name is Mark Rabinoff from Melbourne, Australia. It's like Mark Rabinoff. Every year, I don't remember the last time I haven't heard him ask a question. So Mark Rabinoff, wherever you are, man, shout out.
It's cool to hear like Bill Ackman, you know, get up and ask a question from like 20 years ago, and like Monish Pabrai as well has gotten up in the like some of the early 2000 ones and has asked questions too. So it's kind of funny to hear from those people before they became as widely known as they are today.
I think at the end they also had Tim Ferriss ask a question.
Oh, really?
Tim Ferriss. Yeah, it was, I think 2008. I believe it was at the very, like one of the last 2 questions of 2008. I'm pretty sure. Benny with some historical information here that a Super Bowl ticket in 67 cost $10 or 90 adjusted for inflation. Oh my God. I don't even know what a beer would be. Oh my God. It'd be too much. I'd be the guy trying to sneak in like the flask in the sandwich, you know, to save a few bucks. LTC, I don't know. That's a healthcare REIT, I think, right?
It's long-term care. Much. It's a REIT that specializes in senior living facilities. And so people that are bullish on it make the argument that because the elderly population is growing and growing and growing, that there'll be more of a need for more of these facilities.
Let's see. I was almost quick enough to get it on while you were talking. So there you go. Yeah, they give them a safety score of 40 unsafe. Let's see what their AFFO payout ratio is.
This is a monthly payer too, by the way.
So they downgraded them in 2021, and yeah, that dividend's been frozen since before the pandemic. Yikes. So, yeah, it's frozen at $2.28.
I did own it at one point, but I got rid of it and put it elsewhere because of the lack of dividend growth. It just didn't seem...
Yeah, there's none. 9% 20-year CAGR, but look, 5 years, 0, nothing. Their AFFO ratio is a little bit at the high end, but... Yeah, I would say look elsewhere. There's probably better opportunities than good old LTC. And then we have name. Nye, how'd you get name? You're like one of the first people to join YouTube. Oh my God, that's pretty cool. Okay, name. $15 minimum for a small can of beer. $10,000 a ticket. Is it really $10,000 a ticket though?
Dude, I remember seeing somewhere on the internet where it was like $52,000 for a ticket.
It's funny you say that because there's a something called VetTix, and if anybody's a veteran or knows a veteran, you got to get on vettix.org because you just upload your DD-214 to show that you served, and then there's tickets are donated for anything that requires a ticket for entry. So we've seen a lot of just sporting events, concerts, various things. And it popped up there was 2 tickets for the Super Bowl. And the way it works, it's like a bidding system. Every month you get, coins, maybe like 5, 6, 7 coins, and they collect. And each one of those is like a ticket for whatever it is. And you only lose them if you win. But either way, I told my wife, I was like, and I saw it last weekend, it just popped up. I was like, should I put in? It would probably be a 1 in a million shot. But we figured, nah, it's just too hard with our kids in school, trying to find airfare and work. And it would be a nightmare. So I was like, oh, we'll let somebody else get him. But yeah, that's if it's somewhere another year, if that happens again, maybe. But Jack, that's Jack in the Box, right?
I was thinking that, or that Jackson Hewitt.
I think it's Jack. I think it's Jack in the Box. Which, by the way, Ryan, you got Jack in the Box out by you, right? We used to have it in SoCal.
Yeah, I'm sure we have. We have Jack in the Box here.
Jack in the Box, 2.28% yield. Look at that. Oh, I do remember this. So Jack in the Box bought Del Taco because I remember thinking about buying Del Taco, even though they didn't pay a dividend. So shout out Del Taco. I know those are in Vegas. A little choppy dividend history, but let me see. It's been frozen for a little while. Then
I'll be back in just a moment, real quick. I'll be back.
We'll be waiting for you, Ryan. We'll keep your seat warm. Interesting,
Okay.
man. 20 million shares outstanding. So you learn something every day around here. I love it. It looks like they have no net debt according to I don't know. That can't be right. Anyway, double check everybody if you want to look in Jack in the Box. So shout out if you. Do they got Jack in the Box up by you, Jonah?
If they do, I haven't paid attention. I'm not really a fast food guy.
Yeah.
But if I was going to invest in a burger chain, that would be McDonald's or maybe Wendy's. I know Darth really likes Wendy's.
Wendy's, they have earnings this week. That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, John, as far as Jack under valuation, I don't know. So that would be a good one to look in. That would be interesting. Hey, what's up? Nick, he's out in Vegas, right? You're out in there, Vegas, buddy. We'll be at as I was just telling them, I'll be with my family at Paris April 6th through the 9th. So we're flying into town for Social D. Bad Religion. I love it. Yeah, there you go. Thoughts on 3M. They might as well cut the dividend and turn their business around. I think so, dude. And this is where I think, right, it can get a little bit silly when management's like, your business is suffering. Just cut the dividend. To hell with it. I mean, make your business a better business if you need the cash. So what do you think, Ryan? You think we'll see a 3M dividend cut?
I wouldn't be surprised, and that's one of the reasons that I sold out of it a handful of months ago, just because, like, I don't know if this is best case scenario or worst case scenario, but they cut the dividend, for better or for worse, they cut the dividend. Actually, that's worst case scenario, they cut the dividend. Best case scenario, they keep growing it at a penny at a time, and that's just either way you slice it, it's not. There's better opportunities out there. So
well, think of if they cut the dividend or eliminated it, think of all the funds that would also have to sell them too because of their rules for stocks that are in the fund. So anything that's a dividend growth, they'd be getting booted out of and sold off.
My friend Scott, who's one of my bar regulars that works there, he was like, if they cut the dividend, then the company's done. That's his perception of that. It's like they just can't do that.
And look at here's Trey. He never told us what kind of music he plays, but he says he's known multiple people that work for 3M, so he backs your statement that it's a dumpster fire. That's kind of crazy hearing it from the inside. There we go.
I see. Oh, never mind. I'll wait till you get to this.
I'll just say this. Yeah, I didn't know. I had never. None of us had ever heard of the Intercontinental Exchange, which apparently owns the New York Stock Exchange. So that in itself is a pretty interesting. Yeah, so you can buy that, and you can also invest in NASDAQ outright. So that's what you got to say, Ryan.
And S&P Global as well.
Dude,
buy that one too.
I think one of us has probably got a newsletter or a video topic brewing.
There you go. No, I was going to say further down in the chat, and you might have picked up on this when I was gone, but Nick, Dividend Growth Income says, when you're in Vegas, drinks on him. The three of us should try and get together when you come. I know you and I have talked about getting together, but the three of us should we can meet up at Beer Park right at Paris there.
That would be awesome. And the only thing I'll add to that is I'm not going to get too crazy because, like I said, I'll be with my wife and kids, but I am totally open to, an hour or two and just hanging out for sure. But yeah, my kids, the only place they want to go is Omega Mart. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. I haven't been, but it looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, they're jazzed about it. Anybody watching, look up Omega Mart, watch some YouTube videos on it. It's like, I don't know how to describe. It's a fake supermarket, but they have all these secret things, and then it's like this whole big complex, and like the fake mart where you can buy stuff. Like my daughter was showing me, they have a bottle called 96-hour energy that you can buy. Obviously, there's nothing in it, but yeah, she showed me that one. I was like, sweet, that's like straight cocaine in there.
My
Yeah,
96 hour.
get ready though, Russ. I think tickets are like $60 a pop.
50.
Oh,
And that's
50,
fine.
okay.
Yeah. I was
My-
like, you know what? They want to go. So I was like, let's do it,
Yeah.
my favorite restaurant in the whole world is Lowry's the Prime Rib, which is right off of the strip there. I don't know if you've ever been there, Ryne, but it's like you go in and it's more of an upscale place or whatever, but they push around the cart that has like the prime rib on it with all the fixings and everything like that. And I can't go to Vegas and not go to Lowry's, but they own the seasoning salt too that they sell in the grocery store.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is also a Dividend company.
Wow.
Lowry's. No, Lancaster. They might own it. Can't look it up now. Lancaster. Who owns that?
But Ryne, if you need a fancy spot to take your fiance out on a date or something, Lowry's the Prime Rib.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a steakhouse that we just found out about a couple months ago and have been to a few times called Herbs and Rye. It's supposed to be a pretty iconic place here in Vegas, but really good. And the steaks are like half off all the time. And yeah, it's really, really bomb. That place we really like. There's another place we're actually going to go for Valentine's Day called the Bootlegger. It's this Italian place right off of the right on like the not south end of the strip, but south of the strip on, I think, right off of Las Vegas Boulevard. Really good Italian spot too. So that's the thing, like kind of like you were saying before we went live in Vegas, there's too many good places to eat. Like it's an easy place to come and gain weight for sure.
Yeah. I used to hit up those like graveyard special breakfasts at the Orleans, because I used to live over by the Orleans. Yeah,
sure.
It's like $3 for steak.
Yeah, dude, it's like now it's like $6.99 for steak and eggs, something like that.
I like the sound of that. Why is Pepsi cheaper? Fizz Greisen. Yeah, it's a lot of things. There's a headwinds with Ozempic. And there was inflation that they were trying to pass through. So I think it's just cyclical. It's just a cycle they're going through. They're going to be fine if you ask me. Same thing. We'll see. Coca-Cola, right? I think on Tuesday, Coca-Cola has earnings. So we'll see what they do, what they have to say. There you go. Shamir up in Canada. Is that the Royale with cheese? Yeah.
Shamir, you don't go to Timmy's if you're up in Canada?
Oh, Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons, yeah.
Do they do those bleed down into Minnesota? Do you have those there?
So we had one in the Mall of America, but it didn't do well. I just think that it's part of like the Canadian scene, And so
another Minnesota company up there, Hormel, you got up in
right.
Austin, Minnesota, is it?
Yeah.
I think it's just TSN. There's been issues, and I only know a little bit. I can speak on it's with the pork, issues with the pork pricing and supply, something to do with pork. Like that's been a huge headwind for those businesses. And yes, John, we did look at Jack. Benny's also going to McDonald's and Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's, like you were off, Ryne, but Wendy's reports this week. So we'll see what they do. And he said Darth likes Wendy's. Like I said, everybody, tell me when Darth doesn't own a stock. So make sure you mention, because otherwise I just assume he owns
it. The thing
it.
about Darth's channel, though, is he talks about stocks that no one else ever does, like so many of these like smaller off the radar type of things. And I've always appreciated it, and I have a few satellite positions like BDCs and stuff like that he's,
I was breaking his balls a little bit, texting him that, and I said I always tell people, like, don't tell me what Darth owns, tell me what he doesn't own. No, did anyone bite in Archer Daniels? What do you guys think about Archer Daniels? My thought is that, man, accounting issues worry me because you don't know how deep it wide and who knew what when. And yeah, when I see financial stuff, that kind of worries me quite a bit.
I don't really know a lot about the company, so I'm probably not the best person to speak on it, but I would wager that in general, because there was just some financial shenanigans going on, it sounded like. I wouldn't think that would be a crazy long-term issue. Like it'll probably impact them in the short term here, but across 10, 15, 20 years, this probably won't be something that impacts them over that period of time. So it could be a good buying opportunity if you feel good about the company today.
You know, with some of the cash I had, I almost did when they were at 53, they bounced up. I had about 5,400 in cash, and I thought, like, should I just buy 100 shares and sit on it? But
Just a little swing trade.
yeah, no, but I didn't. It's funny. We Study Billionaires podcast. I included this in the newsletter, and Ian Castle, he's like a microcap guy, he has a fund. He had a fantastic thing that I'm gonna, eventually we'll talk more about it, but called Active Patience. And says you need to learn what kind of investor you are, what your principles are. You need to know what you're looking for. And then when you find it, you do nothing until you see it. And you don't know. That could be weeks or it could be years. But that's like part of the great investors is what they do. They know exactly what they want, and they don't do a damn thing until they see it. Where we're like a lot of us, where I'm like, well, I have all this cash sitting around. I should buy something. So I look for reasons to buy. And it was just, they likened it to food. They said if you could imagine you never tried food before, or you went to a foreign country and you never had any of their food, the only way you would learn what kind of food you liked is to go and try all the food. So it's kind of like investing. You try all different kinds of investing, strategies or buying businesses, and you gain experience, and then that's how you build up. And I think for him, he said it took 15 years to figure out exactly what kind of investor it was and what exactly it was that he was looking for. So really cool philosophical idea that I'm just found out about. Really awesome.
I think, dude, that is really cool. And I think that's part of the natural progression of like being a DIY investor and kind of starting from the place where a lot of us have, which is from scratch. Is you got to sample some things and you end up adding probably more stocks to your portfolio than you actually need. But only by doing so only through doing that are you able to figure out the type of investing that you like and learning about the companies that you think are good long-term holds. And that's why we see a lot of investors like ourselves included, expand our portfolios, build up a number of positions, and then kind of consolidate over time from there, kind of weeding out what your lower conviction picks were. But the only way to get there is just by going through it.
Yeah. And he mentioned, sorry, one more thing, Jonah. He mentioned Warren Buffett, where he said that even it took Warren Buffett
one pick a year or something.
Yeah, 20 years to go from being a cigar butt investor to buying quality at a fair price type investor. So what's up, Jonah?
I was just going to say, it's like there's this whole contingency of stocks that I feel like people only own in the beginning stages of investing before they realize that they're crap, like AGNC and Armor Realty or whatever it is, and and stuff like that. Oh god, Orchid Island. I owned all of those, and I think I got out of them and had broken even and was just like, whew, okay, like I got rid of my rookie mistakes and I didn't lose my tail or whatever.
AT&T, dude, I did it. I remember when I bought AT&T, it was just because everybody said it's one of the best dividend stocks. You got to own AT&T. So I was like, all right. Real quick, Sebastian, dude, what do we say on the OnlyFans channel? The first rule of Russ's OnlyFans channel is you don't talk about Russ's OnlyFans channel. You broke the first rule, Sebastian, for cry eye. That's the whole thing I said, for cry eye. My friend's grandpa used to say that, and I think he was born in just after the turn of the last century. So there you go. I have some...
Russ, I miss the days where you used to say, so basically...
from George Lopez, yeah.
No, you said that you used to have this friend in high school or something.
Yep.
You used to say it like that.
Yeah. So, and that's why George Lopez reminded me of that, because where I went to high school, I was with a lot of Mexican dudes. And I remember that one, his name was Israel. Yeah, he's like, so basically, man, what I'm doing here today, he's like, so basically we got this homework, and then, dude, that's why I died when George Lopez, when I started hearing him and he was doing that, I was like right. And that's what makes it funny, because there was so much, like stereotypical truth into what he says. And it's not a bad thing. It was just, these are too much harsher for me. Let me see. I'll read this real quick. Trinity, CHS, HCA, and Mercy. This is your Harsha works in this field, long-term care. That's interesting. So there you go. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, Nick, for sure. Let's do it. I want to at least say hi. I know you're faceless. I don't know what you look like. So, You're going to have to wear a hat with your logo on it or something so we can. But yes, we will. And that's my only thing. I just don't want to take too much time away from my family. But I want to see you guys. I want to hang out. It's like, anyway. So you've owned those, Benny. Yeah. They've been dropping McCormick, by the way. They're at, I don't know, more than a 52-week low, I think. But they do own Frank's Hot Sauce and they own Cholula. So shout out Cholula. I like that. It's not as good
Frank's
as my
hot
Valentina.
sauce belongs on leftover pizza. So when I was telling you I had Domino's the other night. Next day, there's the leftover pizza on the fridge. I'm like, well, I'm eating it cold with Frank's hot sauce on it. That's how that goes.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna make me hungry now. Good, we got a few more minutes here. Wendy's choppy financials. Wait, they're pretty much bribing potential franchisees to sign up. No, I guess not. And that's something that we all need to think about. I'm gonna get caught up, so I so apologize if I'm just kind of blowing by a lot of these. There you go. That reminded me. Jim took his wife to the Spam Museum, and that's where I went. And they walk around with trays of Spam samples, and it's the weirdest thing because they had like jalapeno Spam and just all kinds of different Spam. It's
sounds like a great place to go. Sounds like a great place to go if you want to throw up.
It's the opposite of Lowry's the prime rib. If you want to take your lady to and have a negative experience, then go to the Spam Museum.
Oh, dude, it is crazy. We went. I've been there, so I can't rip it too much, but that's breaking news. He thinks Darth got out of Ultra. I've been waiting. I'm waiting for 43, a little bit over 43, and it's going the opposite direction. So
I'm kind of considering. I was going to make a video on this, but I'm kind of considering getting out of Altria myself.
Yeah, I think it's a true melting ice cube, don't you?
I'm so on the fence about that. I just think it really depends on what happens from here. It just depends on how effective they are at transitioning to the smoke-free, future or whatever. And it seems like things like chewing tobacco are growing in sales. I mean, it's still such a small percentage of the company's overall revenue. Like still with Altria, over 50% of their revenue, I believe, comes from combustibles, cigarettes and cigars. And yeah, I mean, as of this most recent earnings report, just looking at the numbers, I really see the trend start to get, how do I say this? I really see the volume decline picking up.
Yeah. And that's kind of like what I touched on in my newsletter is that I pointed out the number one horse-drawn carriage company in the United States in 1900 by 1917 was no longer making horse and buggy carriages, and it's just, like I said, you could have had the best management team in the world running that, but when the world decides they no longer want your product or service, like the writing's on the wall, there's nothing the best management team is going to be able to do about that. So
and still like they're seeing a lot of, it seems like things are heading in the right direction as it pertains to vapes and Joy for Altria and stuff like that. But still, once again, it's such a small part of their revenue that I think all of that's going to take a lot of time for that to meaningfully replace the loss from combustibles. And still, like, the earnings per share is going up and they are becoming more profitable, which is good to see. But I mean, revenue decline is still an issue. But anyway, I'll leave it there.
Yeah. No, I get, and that's what I said, like for Nexstar, and that's kind of what I concluded, is that I'm really going to be watching the revenue predominantly, because if less and less revenue comes in, I don't care how well you manage the money you're getting, like you're losing revenue. So that's going to be,
and that was one of those things going back to what we were saying. Sorry, I wanted to get to this comment too, because it's a really good question, but that kind of goes back to what we were saying a moment ago. There's some stocks that you buy when you first start investing because, like Russ, you used AT&T as an example. It's just, it's a good dividend payer. You can see the reasoning behind it. Yeah, people are still going to pay their phone bills, pay their internet, stuff like that. Yeah, people are addicted to cigarettes, so that's a pretty safe bet. But as you kind of go deeper down this path and learn more stuff, there's a bit more nuance to that entire conversation. And so you kind of come to the conclusion that the juice isn't really worth the squeeze with some of these. Yeah. And I think those might be a couple good examples.
Yeah, so I mean, there's always something we could do differently because, and I'll say that probably 5 years from right now, there's something I would
Sure.
have done differently, but you don't know until you know. And
Uh,
yeah, so as far as ETFs, yeah, if you don't want to pay as much attention, I mean, individual investing requires a lot more babysitting and yeah. So, all right. Sorry, I'm
I
gonna
don't.
blow by a few of these. Yeah, Nick,
yeah.
look it up, man. And it was Lowry's hot sauce, I think, that McCormick owns. So I got mine confused. confused. Good. Hey, I want to say, dude, that's awesome. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. And if, comment or Russ at dapperdividends.com if you need any tips about any of that. Nick, yeah, speaking of Philip Morris, I know they have more international exposure where Ultra is either just US or North America. I don't remember which one that Ultra is more confined. So
Isn't that just for Marlboro sales though? The U.S.
I thought it was their whole business.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen Marlboros in Europe when I've been over there.
Well,
You might be right.
Philip Morris has the right to sell Marlboro outside of the U.S. I could have that wrong, but I think that's how it works. And then Altria's got the U.S. rights. I don't know. I might be a little bit off on that, but I do know Altria is working on international sales of Enjoy.
Yep.
Because they just launched it, I think, in Sweden. So, and I think the same is, maybe I'm thinking of the On pouches, actually. They just launched them in Sweden.
Dude, my brother-in-law just talked about the On pouches. I've never used it, but I work with a
Me
lot
neither.
of dudes that dip. And anyway, he said one of the guys said the On pouches and he let him try one. And he doesn't really dip or anything, but he said he got like a really strong buzz from it, from just the nicotine. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He said, dude, I was buzzing while I'm working.
Yeah.
I was like, that doesn't sound safe. So that's crazy. I've never used one. I probably never will, but for whatever that's worth, there you go. And yeah, Shamir said Altria isn't worth the headaches anymore. Same with British American Tobacco, but he doesn't need the income right now. Just put that in better growth opportunities. And again, that's, dude, for all of us, even you, Shamir, that's all part of our evolution as, as we grow. Trey, there it is. Finally, I was wondering, metal and hardcore metal drummer, 15 to 20 minutes from Jonah. So
Yeah, for sure, man. Add me on Facebook, and I'll probably want to talk about dividend stocks more than music, but because I don't have any friends in real life that are into this. So like my whole dividend existence is in these YouTube communities, with Russ and Ryne and Darth, etc. And so it'd be cool to have a friend and to meet up and put on my nerd glasses and talk about money and dividend investing.
and you guys can write songs about dividend investing and you'll be like Wham, like a new metal Wham duo,
Yeah.
That's probably
Because Wham, that's what a lot of their songs were about too, was dividend investing.
It's a lot of people don't know this, but absolutely, if you look and you drill down behind the meaning, it's all about dividend investing.
Our first song would be called Dumpster Fire, and it would just be about 3M and Altria.
That's awesome, man. I'll bet you right now. Couldn't I just go to GPT-4 and tell it to make me a song about that? That's awesome. Dumpster
And then
Fire.
you could.
That sounds metal, dude. That does sound metal.
Your next track after that could be called "The Stanky Kool-Aid" featuring Russ. Talking about AT&T.
Yeah.
Boy, I drank it, man, but I just you reach a point where it's like I can't. I think I'm just trying to. My rose colored glasses are just too. Anyway, so that's cool, man. That'd be cool. Yeah. Nice. Philip Morris is setting up smock free. I have to look into the smock free stuff.
That's
I
like,
used to wear
remember
smocks
wearing a smock? Yeah, when you paint in elementary school. I haven't heard that word in 30 years, man. Oh my God.
That's why I wanted to put it, dude. You beat me to the punch. I was just gonna say.
It does seem like if you are going to invest in tobacco, something with that international exposure probably would make more sense than Altria, just because the trends are different outside of the United States. So, Philip Morris might have a brighter future than Altria at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough to say.
Yeah, it's funny. I see there's a lot of Polish people in the area here, especially that drive trucks. I swear to God, it must be mandated by law that a certain percentage of Polish people or European people have to smoke. They all seem to smoke cigarettes, and I don't get it. I know we'll end with this with Doc saying that he's still in his tobacco and IIPR phase. And yeah, Doc is a brand new investor, so he's been talking to me a
Awesome.
little bit. And it's what you do, man. I remember wanting to go after yield, like thinking like, why am I going to invest in Visa at $200 a share? It's got a yield of like 50% when I could go to AT&T. And
Sure.
it's just like now you look back and it's like you dummy, like, but I'm not dummy. You didn't know. You can't beat yourself up if you didn't know something, you know?
Absolutely, man. At any given point in time, all we're doing is the best that we can with the information that we have. And the hope is that over time, your knowledge base expands so you're able to make better decisions, but you can't like it takes time to get there. And it is one of those infinite games. It is a constant learning experience. It never ends. And so part of your job as an investor is to continually pursue wisdom and try to become smarter, 1% better every day. And apply that to your portfolio, and it'll definitely have an impact over the years. So
And I will add on that as
keep
you
it
go
up.
and as you learn investing, that you are you're figuring out your principles. Yeah, like Nick just said, you making mistakes is part of it, but it's also part of learning what kind of investor you are, what your risk tolerance is,
Yeah.
and your principles. And it's going to be different from everybody else. And what stocks do we own the same of, Ryan? We probably both own Altria the same, all three of us maybe, but
Yeah.
we all
Altria,
may have
Starbucks.
Starbucks. There you go. I may have a different reason for owning Starbucks than you two do.
Yeah.
And it's just part of investing, and one day I may sell it cuz one little thing I didn't like and you're buying more. So that's kind of what's cool about it.
And the important thing to keep in mind too is that on the opposite side of on the other side of any transaction is someone doing the opposite thing as you. So if you're buying Starbucks because you think it's a good investment, someone on the other end is selling Starbucks because they
Yeah.
think the opposite. So it's just it's just interesting how we can look at the same companies and have a totally different opinion on what's going to happen.
Oh, believe me, I don't. I've done that before. Now watch. Every time you buy or sell something, I've tried to think of that. Now, when I actually bought Nexstar this week, I bought 4 more shares, and I thought of it. I was like, so somebody just sold these to me. What do they know that I don't know? Why did somebody just sell me these shares? So
Yeah.
all right, guys. So yeah, Blaze, you got me, man. You got to it. Salute. He's pulling for the 49ers, so one of them's gonna win. I don't know, but hey, happy Super Bowl Sunday. It's kind of a holiday here in the good old US of A. You guys have any last parting words you want to say? Whatever you want,
Yeah.
go for it.
I just want to say, Russ, I'm a little bit upset. I really wish that you would have let us know before the stream to bring our fingered glove, because I would have brought mine, or fingerless glove. And furthermore, I
So-
wish I would have known that we were only wearing one today.
The other
Oh my
day.
God. I wore fingerless gloves in my most recent music video shoot, but it was because we were shooting in 30 degrees for 12 hours
Oh,
in a
dang.
warehouse in Denmark. So yeah.
You guys are gonna laugh at me, and my wife
I
was teasing
don't think it
me.
gets any more punk rock than fingerless gloves, but Russ, you
Well,
just like kicked it up a notch
well.
by only wearing one.
I'm gonna burst your bubble, buddy, because my wife was just breaking my balls about being an old man. So I've been working with tools in my hand since I was 18 in the Navy, and just maybe the last couple months, in the morning when I wake up, sometimes I can't make a fist right away. My hand will go like halfway.
Ooh.
So I think I'm getting the rheumatoid arthritis in my knuckle joint. So I've been taking glucosamine and extra fish oil. But she found these. She's like, I got them last night. She said they're supposed to be for like arthritis, and I was like, that kind of looks. I need like a Anarchy logo on it now, But
Well, Russ,
so
I'm glad
trying
you're
it,
I'm glad you're gunning for early retirement though, man. So
Yeah, and I want to take my 2-year break, but it's just what, man, it's can't go back in time, and we'll see. So there's things we can do, finger exercises. I read playing guitar can help a lot, just keeping your fingers nimble and moving. So
Yeah,
but
man.
yeah,
If you don't
I
use it, you lose it. So
I just need to find a way to be doing this while I'm sleeping now all night long.
dude,
So
guitar's great. That's a great outlet. Or you could do like Jonah does and play the keyboard.
well, yeah.
I play the keyboard. I'm gonna
I know how to
fake it till I make it.
I know how to play one thing on the keyboard, and it is the "Don't Stop Believing" intro to Journey. It's the only thing I know how to play. So Jonah, any buddy, where can they reach you? Can they grab a hold of you
Yeah.
if they want?
So go to
Just leave your phone
pyramid.com
number and leave your phone number and
Yeah.
social security number
and address
in the
yeah,
chat.
yeah. So my bands are Pyramaze and Catalyst Crime, and so you can find them on YouTube. Check out all the new Pyramaze music videos. Pyramaze. It's actually right here behind me. Yeah, I mean, in closing, I just want to say that I love being part of the dividend investing community, and I think that that's been the most valuable resource to me is, being in Facebook groups, being involved in the YouTube community with you guys and everything like that. Because when you're part of a community and you're part of a group and you're all have good intentions and want to help each other and pass off information to each other, it's the most conducive to long-term success, I believe.
I'll drink to that, man. My tea's all
Absolutely,
gone.
man. The best thing about this community is we're all after the same thing. We're all working towards that financial freedom. We don't have to step on each other's toes to get there. So it's one of those games where everyone can win.
Yeah, I love it.
So keep
man.
climbing. Keep climbing.
Like you said, it's just, and I love it that we all share what we're doing. And it's great to find somebody that's being successful at something or in a slightly different way than you, and you can learn from that. Just say, okay, what are they doing? So anyway, all right, guys, well, we've been on long enough. So I'm going to have, like always, Pee-wee take us out. And thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Jonah, for joining me. And everybody, we'll see you next. And happy Super Bowl Sunday. Be safe out there, y'all.